Hello and welcome to 21st Century. I'm Daljit Dhaliwal. Clean water for drinking, cooking and washing is beyond the reach of hundreds of millions, and about a third of the world's population don't have access to good sanitation. But the sheer scale of the problem doesn't stop one woman who's on a mission to see that everyone has safe water. We take you to Brazil.
Tap water is the best example or a paradigm of democracy. If you ensure safe tap water for everyone, say in a city, in a country, it means that the pipes are the same for the richest person in that city, in that country, and for the poorest ones. And the quality of the water is the same. So poor and rich, everybody is drinking the same water.
Portuguese law professor Catarina G. Albuquerque is the United Nations Special Rapporteur for safe drinking water and sanitation. She's determined to make a difference for millions of people living today without this most basic of human rights. Since her position was created by the United Nations Human Rights Council in 2008, Catarina's logged tens of thousands of miles taking this message of inclusion around the world, examining conditions in some of the world's very poor countries like the island of Tuvalu and some of its richest like the United States.
When I go on mission, I understand that the people don't even know that what we are talking about is a human right, that they are entitled to it. So I try to explain what it means, what it entails.
And what she says, in part, is this: without safe water and sanitation, so many other human rights, even the right to life, can be unattainable. Water and sanitation should be accessible, affordable, and available on a continuous basis, and of course, be of quality. When these social conditions exist, all of society benefits.
Each dollar that you invest in water and sanitation, you have a return of at least $5 for each dollar invested, of productivity that you gain because people are not sick. They go to work, kids go to school. So imagine the money, the amount of money that you save just by investing in water and sanitation.
Today, Catarina begins a visit to Brazil in the capital city of Brasilia, part of an 11-day, 5-city tour designed to look at how water and sanitation is reaching people throughout the country. The Brazilian government invited her to assess not only what works, but also what needs to be improved. The rapporteur will make detailed recommendations at the end of her visit. Nationally, Brazil has shown great improvement in the past decades in sanitation and access to water, success resulting from the political will to make these rights a reality.
So here in Brazil, the sweet part of it is that there is money. The investments for sanitation and water are becoming more and more significant, which is good, which is also a sign of prioritization of this area by the government, so that's obviously important. There is a national plan. I think that adopting a national plan is the first step to implementing the rights.
Maintaining a near impossible schedule, Catarina walks Brazil's halls of power, keeping appointments at the Foreign Ministry and the Attorney General's office.
It's an impressive building, isn't it?
As well as attending multiple meetings with other agencies, all with a hand in the development of water and sanitation policy. She's happy to do the work, even if the work is for free.
Normally it's busy because we do this all pro bono, so it's in my free time, on the one hand, and on the other hand, you want to do as much as possible.
The only things that slow her down are life's necessities.
If I don't sleep, I'm in a bad humor and then it doesn't work. And if I don't eat, it's the same.
Johnny é dos meus diretores.
Meeting after meeting, Katerina listens intently at first and then guides the conversation to what concerns her most. Katerina seeks to gain insights, which she will use in her final report.
It's about selling a product, the human right to water and sanitation. I want to captivate people so that they understand and they get convinced that by using the human rights framework in their work on water and sanitation, they will do a better job. And they will be better able to serve the people they are meant to serve.
But her visits are much more than a series of meetings. Katerina goes to learn firsthand how people live. Sobradinho lies on the outskirts of Brasilia, an impoverished neighborhood. People here struggle to make ends meet. But it was recently connected to piped water and sewerage, improving the community's well-being and health. During a brief tour, residents tell Katerina not only of their hardships, but also about their pride in the quality of their water. And yet, can they afford it?
It's too much. It's between 10 and 25% of the household income.
News of her visit spreads quickly and people gravitate to this small shop, water bills in hand. It's a scene Katerina knows all too well. People want help tackling the high cost of their water.
You realize the hopes that they have. But I always say being a rapporteur is living with frustration. That's what I do. So you see how much hope people have in you. Of course, you try to do what you can, but then the success depends on the follow-up that you manage to have after you leave.
Working on the go, Katerina moves on to the next phase of her visit to Brazil. Rio de Janeiro. Already a tourist destination with its beaches, Rio is getting ready for its close-up, its moment on the world stage. First hosting the 2014 Football World Cup, and then the Summer Olympics 2 years later. Serious investments are being made in the city, including in the area of water and wastewater. But not everyone here experiences the city's prosperity in the same way. Nearly 1.4 million people live in favelas, the informal settlements and hillside slums that dot Rio's landscape. People like Avanice Melo, an unemployed single mother of 6.
A vida aqui é isso aqui que vocês estão vendo, né? Precária, eles são esquecidos.
Avanice and her family get their water from this haphazard PVC piping that runs throughout this community, known as Complexo do Alemão. Some days, though, she says no water flows, so she fills these makeshift reservoirs for backup.
Eu pego assim, quando não cai água, quando tá caindo água na torneira, eu lavo, né? Como você ouviu, ali na pia. Mas quando não tá caindo água, aí a caixa que tá cheia, eu pego no balde.
For years, Complexo do Alemão was controlled by drug gangs. But in November 2010, the police raided the area. These pacification efforts, as they're known, increased safety in the favela, enabling improvements to infrastructure and increasing connections to city systems. Aliciana Silva lives with her husband, an unemployed mason, and her 13-year-old son. They've seen the benefits of the city's police action in Alemão.
E agora, graças a Deus, com essa pacificação, a gente não vê mais aqueles homens armados, aqueles tiroteios.
But she too remains frustrated with her erratic water service, with random stoppages at least twice a week, despite the small fee she pays.
Eu não acho assim que seja muito, porque, poxa, a água é tão essencial na vida, né? Entendeu? Eu não acho que seja muito. Só que assim, se quebrar um cano é a gente que tem que fazer, tudo é a gente que tem que arcar, entendeu? Se for para fazer o trabalho, é meu marido que vai fazer.
And there's plenty of broken PVC pipe around here, as Edson Gomes shows Catarina during her visit. He's president and founder of a local non-governmental organization. He says much of Alamau's access to the water company's tanks is basically self-service.
Então elas próprias fazem suas ligações, os canos que vocês viram por toda a comunidade. Quando não é o morador quem faz, geralmente é a associação de moradores, para exatamente conseguir acesso a essas fontes que eu falei anteriormente. Na verdade, é irregular, mas não consideramos ilegal, né? Porque seria pior morrer de sede.
In Baixada Fluminense, another low-income area just outside Rio's city limits, Catarina learns of similar complaints. She hears about not enough water reaching residents through the pipes and witnesses what happens when too much water falls from the sky.
The sewage mixing the rainwater and filling the streets where people had to walk to catch a bus, to go to work or to go to school.
Climbing the hillside steps of Complexo do Alamau, Catarina notices more of the rain's aftermath. Hard to miss, even if you can't see it.
Of course, the smell is unbearable, and when you talk with the population, they say that the kids have skin diseases, there are problems of waterborne diseases, etc. Of course, it's all over the place.
Porque tem esgoto aqui em cima, que fica caindo direto aqui para minha casa, esgoto. Se vocês forem ali atrás, tem mau cheiro terrível ali atrás.
Catarina believes proactive measures must be taken to eliminate inequalities and reach the people in Complexo do Alamau and Baixada Fluminense. She acknowledges the government efforts and investments, but she wants more to be done as the current situation is unacceptable.
The money is here, the possibility to do things is a reality, but then somehow people not only don't get access to water, they don't have sewage. So what are you doing? You are killing the people. You are slowly killing the people. You are reducing their life expectancy. You are sending them to hospital. You are making sure that kids have diarrhea and other diseases and they cannot go to school.
And so when Catarina meets with representatives of the state water company and sanitation regulators, people intent on telling her about their newest projects and biggest achievements, she again asks about access to water and sanitation for the poorest, people like Avenice and Aliciana.
Many of the people working on water and sanitation, they are not human rights people. They are engineers. And they think about pipes, they think about taps, they think about technology, they think about leakages, they think about connections and disconnections, and that's what they think about. Then you put a human face to their work. And I think it makes them think differently.
Luigi Troisi, a vice president with the state agency regulating sanitation, was at the meeting. While the city falls outside his agency's jurisdiction at the moment, he believes the future looks bright.
É o momento do Rio de Janeiro. Acho que os Jogos Olímpicos, principalmente, vão atrair maiores investimentos para a cidade e, com certeza, o saneamento básico será um dos setores alcançados.
Yes, it's about investments and it's about, well, where do you put your money? Where are your priorities?
At the end of her trip and after meeting again with government officials, Catarina gives her preliminary conclusions to the press. Her full report will be shared with the Brazilian government before being presented to the Human Rights Council in Geneva.
I think these missions are hard because, oops. No, the missions are hard because you see the injustice and it's, how shall I say it? You don't understand how it is possible that people live in these conditions. And it's the faces that then guide me when I'm preparing recommendations. What is this all about? What is human rights about? It's about the people.
Independent experts like Katarina can view these situations with a critical eye. In Brazil, in spite of significant progress and political will, people are still fighting for the right to safe water and clean sanitation. Katarina believes that nobody should be left behind.
They want it for themselves and they want it for their kids, and they believe it is possible, and it is possible. It is within reach.